Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and I'll be talking about a Pyre Blaster build for the tactical class in patch 10.0 Space Marine 2. Now, the Pyre Blaster is the new primary weapon added into patch 10.0. This is a flamethrower, and it is ridiculously powerful. The burn damage of this thing is properly absurd, and it might be one of the most powerful tactical builds to ever be in the game. Now, the variant I've chosen here is the venting speed, because we really don't struggle for ammo on this thing, especially with stuff like Emperor's Vengeance. And overall, you just build for burn, and you build for bonus melee damage, and that's really all you have to do on this gun, because it just puts out the damage non-stop. So first up, I take improved fast venting, move over here into the perk Eternal Flame, burning time increases by 25%. Now the burn on the Pyre Blaster is the most powerful part about it. Basically, you just apply a dot onto the enemies that does stupid damage to bosses, extremis, and majoris. Really powerful. So we move through here into the other perk, Potent Flame, for even more burning damage. Pick up the perk over here, Flame of Ascension. Burning 5 enemies restores 1 armor segment. Cooldown is 30 seconds. This is like a better version of Trick Shot, because all you have to do is apply burn versus actually killing anything, and this weapon already wipes out Minoris enemies on its own. So you do this against like a whole Majora's pack. Very strong here. And then we pick up Potent Flame for even more burning damage. Then you can either go up here to the perk Resilient Flame for a charging time decrease on top of Pure Flame for even more burning damage, or you can do what I did and go down here for Flash Burn. Enemies at a distance of less than 10 meters take 20% more damage, and then pick up the perk here, Increase Capacity, and pick up the final perk, Flame of Purification. Burning enemies take 20% more melee damage. This perk is incredible. It applies a debuff to the enemies, and your block weapon with your chainsword will do stupid amounts of damage to a guy burning in front of you. Amazing synergy with the tactical class, especially with battle focus, and honestly, this build is kind of broken, and Pyre Blaster is just a god tier weapon. Now for the secondary, I do take a Rate of Fire Plasma Pistol here. This gun is also incredible, great CHP recovery, stagger, and overall decent damage. Now the ammo economy kind of sucks, but we do have a perk for that with Plasma Boost on top of things like building to ammunition in our perk tree, so I would set it up like this. Now for the melee weapon here, I would take a Block Chainsword. The Block Chainsword I think is by far the best option on the tactical in particular, because first of all, upon getting the Adrenaline Surge charge with the block weapons in this game, you'll get a 60% damage reduction for 2 seconds. Very powerful option, very good for surviving things like sniper shots while parrying or like devourers shooting at you. That's one of the many reasons block weapons are very powerful in this game to begin with. Now for the perk tree, I just build it all the way down here for swift recovery, then move up top for perpetual strength, moving down here into the perk full throttle for the combo skip. This perk did get kind of nerfed in patch 10.0, but it was more like a bug, so they are working on fixing it, just keep that in mind. And the final 2 perks I pick up are Minoris Slayer and Extremis Slayer. And that's pretty much all there is for the weapon setup on this build. Now for the perk tree here, I do pick up Plasma Boost first. When plasma weapons are 30% overheated, their damage increases by 40%, and their charge shots use 1 less energy. This is just a DPS and ammo economy enabler for our secondary here. A very strong option for any plasma build, but very good on this one because honestly, the Rate of Fire Plasma Pistol benefits from this a ton. Insane DPS output when you stack on this perk, and great perk in general. Next perk I take is Heightened Vigor. After a perfect time parry, block, or dodge, you deal 10% more melee and gun strike damage. Do not lose control upon taking heavy hits and cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. This perk is incredible. It will simply save your life. No knockback in this game will prevent all knockback from light attacks of sword warriors, zone throw balls, and things like that. You'll still get knocked over by like a Carnifex hit or like a heavy Ravener hit on like the third end or like the third attack on its string, but for the most part it covers a lot and helps a ton, and it's just pretty much mandatory in this game to be honest, because like there are certain things you simply cannot trade into with a block weapon without this, or even a parry weapon, and not getting knocked out of a gun strike or like a Adrenaline Surge charge is just super strong in this game, so pretty much always pick this up. Next perk we take here is Emperor's Vengeance. Killing a Majoris level or higher enemy restores your Pyre weapon's ammo by 1 magazine, cannot exceed maximum ammo capacity, cooldown is 30 seconds. Now the Pyre Blaster is already pretty ammo efficient, but this pretty much gives you infinite ammo. Super powerful perk and really good synergy here because the Pyre Blaster is just really good with Emperor's Vengeance, the way it is in this patch. Next perk here is Secure Stockpile. Equipment charge restored by 1 for all squad members, cooldown is 60 seconds. This is one of the most busted perks in the entire game. A 60-second Melt-A-Bomb, Crack Grenade, Frag Grenade, Shock Grenade. It just saves your runs. It will blow up entire Extremis packs, do serious damage to bosses at times, make for the most difficult portions of your map a breeze, and Secure Stockpile is also 100% busted in Siege mode, so pretty much always grab this. Next perk I take here is Vital Data. Scanning Extremis or Terminus level enemy restores your Auspex scans charged by 50%. This perk simply gives you more Auspex scans, and Auspex scanning an Extremis or Terminus is usually what you want to do anyways, so a very top tier perk for any build pretty much. Next perk after this is Battle Focus. A perfectly timed parry or block gives the parried enemy a mark from Auspex scan. Now, this perk used to be totally busted. It would apply the bonuses from things like Concentrate Fire to the actual scan for the parry here, and that will allow you to like one-tap Extremis and stuff like that. It's not that good anymore. The Battle Focus parry will only give you a standard Auspex scan now, but it's still very strong and will allow you to one-shot combo any Majoris in the game with like a block chainsword, so it's still pretty strong for that. Next perk I take is Concentrate Fire. Auspex scan zone lasts 60% longer, and enemies marked by the Auspex scan take an additional 120% damage, but they lose the mark when they leave the scanned area. Now, this one may be a little harder to play with, but 120% bonus damage with a 60% laster longing Auspex scan, or longer lasting Auspex scan is very strong in this game and just makes your Auspex scan more valuable in general, so great stuff here. Next perk here is Radiant Impact. A melee finisher additionally deals significant area effect damage in a 10-meter radius. Cooldown is 90 seconds. This perk is just top tier. It's by far the best finisher perk in this tree here. The AoE will wipe out Extremis, Majoris, and Terminus even at times by dealing significant damage to all of them. It's just a super valuable perk in general, so pretty much always pick this one up. Now, for the tree here, we do take Acuity. Now, Acuity does proc off the Pyreblaster for whatever reason. I'm not sure if it buffs the damage here, but if you decide to take a perk like the Heroic Bolt Pistol, you can definitely use this perk on top of that and get the triggers off of the Pyreblaster and just get your 3-round burst full headshot damage off Acuity very easily, which I did do in the extra Runnel show. Now, for the next perk I would take here, I would take Skill Supplier. Ammo Reserve increases by 15%. This just helps your ammo economy a little bit, though you could take Spare Power instead, especially if you're playing Siege mode. Next perk here is Resilience. Medicate Sims restore 40% more health. This one just makes your Sims more valuable, and the Tactical is quite squishy, so this helps a lot. And the final perk I take is Fortitude. Health increases by 15%. This perk is just a tanky perk for your class here, and like I said before, the Tactical is not very tanky at all. It's kind of a must-have. That's pretty much all I take for this build. Now, overall, the Pyreblaster is the best weapon for Tactical currently. It simply melts bosses, Extremis, Majoris, and absolutely wipes Minoris. There's nothing this thing can't handle. Now, you may be a little squishy on Tactical, but I'd go as far as to say the Pyreblaster is just an S-tier weapon in this game, on par with things with the Multi-Melta and the Heavy Plasma. If you take this to a team and you apply this debuff to them for like melee attacks and stuff like that, you can do like 99% of the work for your team, and the Pyreblaster is probably better than the Pyre Cannon as well, because it simply fits the playstyle of Tactical so well in this game, because you have a block chainsword, plasma pistol, and stuff like that, and also just have the Auspex scan and secure stockpile to just wipe out guys in between. So like really, really good synergy and pretty broken gun, but super fun to use, and hopefully this build guide helped. Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and so I'll be talking about a Power Fist Assault build for Space Marine 2 patch 10.3. Now, the Power Fist is the strongest melee weapon in this game, and today I'll be using a Block Fist because the damage on this version is simply absurd, and even though it has a 4 cleaving potential, this really doesn't matter all that much because often you won't really have to deal with that at all outside of things like Siege mode, and even on Siege mode, having this 17 strength on top of Adrenaline Surge stacks is just incredibly valuable to us. Now, for the perks on this thing, I do take Perpetual Strength first, moving here into the perk Heavy Preparation. Heavy attack preparation time is reduced by 30%, applies to the following attacks: Thrust Jab, Back Fist, Hammer Hook, Back Fist 2, and Thrust Jab 2. Without this perk, your heavy attacks take forever to come out, and heavy attacks are pretty much all that matters on the fist anyways, which is why our 1+ speed here hardly matters in the first place, so I pretty much always take this perk. Next perk here is Perpetual Strength. Moving up here to Perpetual Strength once again for a flat 10% melee damage bonus. Then I pick up the perk Focused Intention. Survive things to pick up and execute, and getting below 30% while you're charging will happen occasionally, so super valuable perk to us. Pretty much always grab this one if you actually can. When your health is below 30%, you take 50% less health damage while preparing heavy attacks. You will be preparing heavy attacks all the time on this weapon, and a 50% health damage reduction is incredibly valuable. Often, you will be dropping below 30% while charging. This will allow you to survive to actually get the execute. Super valuable perk. Pretty much always grab this one. And the next two perks I grab are Tide of Battle, which actually increases our forward thrust jab wave from 10 to 20 meters, not 4 to 8. The description is actually wrong. And the next perk here is Following Blow. Back Fist and Back Fist 2 can be performed instantly after a charge, thrust jab, or hammer hook. This can really help you pick up executes because currently the overcharge perk is bugged on Assault to not actually function with the Power Fist. So to actually hit the breakpoint, this perk can occasionally be necessary. Next perk here is Strength of Will for 20% range damage reduction while charging our heavy attacks here. So this actually does stack with Focus and Tension as far as I know, so a very strong combination here. And the final two perks are Combo, which really doesn't matter at all, and Majora's Slayer, which is a nice 10% damage buff versus Majora's. And that's pretty much all there is for the Power Fist. Now you could use the Balance Fist if you want. I will say I would build it exactly the same way, but that's really up to you. Now, for the secondary weapon, I do once again take the fabled Rate of Fire Plasma Pistol. This weapon has top-tier CHP recovery, stagger, damage. The only thing holding it back is ammo economy. Listen, guys, you watch my videos, you know this is the best one in the game currently. Really helps out the Assault class, especially versus Chaos, and with the perk over here, Defense Mechanism, contested health fading 50% more slowly, you have a very easy time surviving, getting all that CHP back versus bosses and things like that. Really powerful weapon. For the perk tree here, I would just build down the top row for ammo economy and pick up Divine Might for a 10% damage increase. Now for our class perk tree here, I do pick up Armor Reinforcement first, non-finisher gun strikes restore 1 armor segment. This perk is simply incredible versus both Tyranids and Chaos. It is obviously better versus Tyranids because they just have way more melee guys to perfect dodge, but even with the new Chaos spawn, you have a lot of opportunities to get your armor back, and this one can really save your life. Now the perk up here, Overcharge, what I would usually take, but unfortunately it is currently bugged on the Assault class like I mentioned before, unlike the Prestige perk on the Bulwark class, so I kind of do just pick this one up instead. Next perk here is Defense Mechanism. Contested health fades 50% more slowly. This perk was added to the Assault class in patch 9.0. It is one of the best options of any perk in any row. Really powerful option to keep you alive. It really helps your CHP recovery, and really survivability is all this class is lacking in a lot of cases, so having this really does fill out that gap. Next perk here is Knowledge of the Enemy. Melee damage increases by 15% against Majora's or Extremis level enemies. This is really good for the Power Fist because you don't actually light attack and trigger perks like Active Attrition all that often. This free melee damage buff is very useful. Now, alternatively, you could pick up Perseverance. While performing charge attacks, you take 25% less health damage and do not lose control upon taking heavy hits and cannot be knocked back. This is not bad by any means. I think this one's just overall better. Next perk here, Strategic Strikes. All of your squad members deal 20% more melee damage against Extremis and Terminus level enemies. This helps a lot versus Terminators and stuff like that. Obviously, if you want to take Proven Efficiency, you can do that too, but I really do like the breakpoints. This can occasionally help you reach, so I prefer this one. Next perk here, Smiting Angel. Ground pounds damage increases by 25%. I think this is one of the best perks in this row now. Really, having that extra AoE for Zealous Blow helps a ton, and having this 25% damage buff, it can really help you pick up the kills to actually trigger the CDR in this, so really good combo here. Next perk here is Zealous Blow. A ground pound kill restores jump packs charged by 10%. This perk simply enables your jump pack to get so much extra usage. The CDR you get off of this versus both Tyranids and Chaos is top tier, so I pretty much always pick this up, and is by far the best perk in this entire row. Next perk here is Pride and Duty. After a finisher, ground pound deals 25% more damage for 10 seconds. I prefer this one over the perk here, Diligence, because Diligence is bugged, I believe, to not function with Adrenaline Surge stacks, which does suck, at least for your ground pound. And the perk up here can be triggered very easily and helps you hit some breakpoints. And the final perk I grab is Ample Ammunition. Any use of jump pack reloads the equipped ranged weapon, increases its damage by 50% for 10 seconds. A 50% damage buff on using your jump pack with the amount of CDR you're getting from Zealous Blow is exceptional. Really boosts your DPS, especially if you need to like hit a breakpoint on a Terminator or something that you just landed on. Really powerful for that. I really do prefer this one, though I will say if you want to take commitment to actually use your jump pack dash, even with this build, you can definitely do that instead, because this perk is still pretty powerful, though to be honest, it should be built into the base class. Now, for the prestige perks here, I do take Unyielding Oath first. When charging a ground pound, you become invulnerable for 3 seconds. This perk is simply incredible. The amount of value you can actually get out of this is top tier for sure, because being able to dive through a Neurothrope wave, through the Terminator Soul Reaper cannons, and just missiles and stuff like that, there's so much stuff that will shoot you while you're in the air, and it's just for boost as a problem entirely, so great perk for sure. Next perk here is Adrenaline Boost. After a perfectly timed parry, block, or dodge, you do not lose control upon taking heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. This perk is a total enabler for any build on the Assault class. I pretty much take this on all of them now, and really, ever since they added this to the Assault, he's been in a much better spot. Final two perks I grab are Fortitude for a health increase of 15%. This is a pretty boring perk effect, but 15% increased HP really helps your survivability quite a bit. And the final perk is either Practice Aim or Scramble Targeting. Now, Scramble Targeting says if you're surrounded by 5 or more enemies, you take 20% less damage from range attacks. This is really good versus Chaos because 20% less damage from range attacks is quite a useful option, and being surrounded by 5 or more enemies happens all the time in this game versus both Tyranids and Chaos. And the final perk you could grab instead is obviously Practice Aim. Range damage increases by 15%. Pretty self-explanatory, but this one can help occasionally, but that's up to you. That's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. I do think the Power Fist build is still the overall best on the Assault class, though obviously you don't just have to play this all the time. If you want to use the balanced one, like I said before, you could do that instead. And the fencing one, I really don't think is worth using at all in this game because the 9+ speed benefit just does not help the Power Fist at all, and you really miss out on a ton of breakpoints and horde clear potential the balanced or the block fist would give you. But that's pretty much all for this one, guys. Hopefully this build guide helped. And I've been talking about a Power Axe Gunstrike build for the Vanguard class in patch 10.0 Space Marine 2. Now, the Power Axe is going to be getting some major buffs to the block variant in patch 11.0, but for now I still think the fencing version is the best, because first of all, you get the perk over here, Power Strike. Gunstrike from Power Stance deals 20% more damage, and you can actually get the bonus damage of your Power Wave and your Gunstrike here simultaneously, or like, you know, in the same loop here, if you properly time it, so just keep that in mind. So overall, I just prefer the fencing version on the Vanguard in particular, because it has a great synergy with the Zone of Impact Tactical Prowess combo here to get you those easy executes, just that massive fat AoE. Now, for the rest of the perk tree here, I start off with the perk Perpetual Strength first, moving here into the perk Coup de Grace. The last strike of a light combo deals 25% more damage. This perk will be significantly better for the block version of the Power Axe in patch 11.0, but for now it's still worth taking because the perk up here, Perpetual Speed, really does basically nothing for your time to kill, and the perk over here, Confident Stance, is super redundant. And unfortunately, as of patch 10.0, you cannot move down here into the perk Tactical Retreat. You will be able to like go straight from this perk down into this perk in the next patch, but for now you can't. So we just take this one instead. Next perk after this is Patient Stance, and of course you just go all the way down the row because you really don't have a choice. And the best perk in this row by far, in my opinion, besides the extra gunstrike damage, is the perk here, Restoration. Killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores an armor segment. Cooldown is 20 seconds. Having Armor Restore tied to your melee weapon in the actual perk tree is pretty unique to the Power Axe. Really powerful perk. This is also really good for Assault because Assault can actually trigger this off ground pound, so if you're playing on that class, keep that in mind. But that's pretty much all there is for the Power Axe tree here. Now, for the primary weapon I chose here, I did take a Melter Rifle on the ammo variant. Usually, ammo economy on the Vanguard is quite terrible, so having extra ammo in your primary just helps a ton. Now, I do think the ranged version is the best overall Melter Rifle variant just for damage, because the damage fall off on this in patch 9.0 got significantly buffed. This weapon feels way better, and the main reason I like the Melter Rifle in general is, first of all, you get Armor Restore with perks like Trick Shot, and you also get extra healing here with Rapid Health. When your health is below 30%, killing 7 enemies, Rapid Succession restores health by 10%, and on this build, I am not taking Adrenaline Rush or Unmatched Zeal, so this is like where all of my healing comes from in general for the game, and triggering this off of things like Hormagaunts and stuff like that is super easy, so a great synergy here, and I like it a lot. And on top of all of this, you also get the perk Decisive Reload. Performing a finisher on a Majoris level or higher enemy, this weapon restores ammo by 1. This is like some of the only ammo restore on the Vanguard period, so great synergy there as well. And really, these bottom 3 perks are like the best reason to take the Melter Rifle in general. All these top ones don't matter too much, just like bonus damage and fire rate. But that's pretty much all there is for the Melter Rifle. Now, for the secondary, I do take a Heavy Bolt Pistol on the Ammo Reserve option. Now, the Firepower variant does have a higher gunstrike damage than the other 2 variants here, but once again, ammo economy on the Vanguard just sucks ass, so I would just take the Ammo Reserve option, because without this, you will occasionally run out, and this one is really useful for killing things like Zoanthropes and Neurothropes especially. And the way I set up the perk tree, just going all the way down the line here to take a perk like Able Damage. After using a class ability, damage increases by 20% for 10 seconds, because on this build especially, you will be using Inner Fire all the time to just like grapple the guys and trigger off your grapple bonuses, and this will really help the Heavy Bolt Pistol for that. That's pretty much all there is for the secondary setup here, aside from the perk up here, Tactical Precision. Headshots deal 20% more damage, non-headshot damage it decreases by 10%. This perk is pretty much mandatory on all bolt weapons in my opinion. Headshot damage is just way too important in Space Marine 2 to not take, and tactical precision is on basically every single bolt weapon except for like the bolt pistol and like heavy bolter in the game anyways. So pretty much always grab this. It's a really good perk, and the loss of damage on non-headshot damage does not matter at all. So I just want to mention that here. Now, for the perk tree, I do pick up the perk Upper Hand first. After a perfect time parry, block, or dodge, you don't lose control from heavy hits, and you can't be knocked back for 10 seconds. No knockback in Space Marine 2 will simply save your life. Without this perk, you will get stun locked sometimes, you will eat shit and die. It is very unfortunate, that's just the way it is in this game. If you want to take the perk up here, Melee Mastery, you definitely could, but like 10% bonus damage against Majora's level and higher enemies really doesn't do anything for you on a build the fencing weapon, and the perk up here, Moving Target, is getting completely reworked next patch. So just keep that in mind. This one, in my opinion, is best overall. Next perk here is Conviction. When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds. This perk is top tier on every single class it is on. Conviction will simply give you a tremendous amount of damage reduction, and damage reduction will make you very tanky in Space Marine 2, which is one of the reasons this class is so damn tanky in general. Next perk I take is Consecutive Execution. Killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores equipment charged by 1. Cooldown is 90 seconds. Having a 90-second crack grenade, shock grenade, frag grenade, and melt a bomb is simply busted in this game. Anything that breaks the pickup economy of Space Marine 2 is top tier, and this perk is by far the best in this column. Though I will say the perk here, Hunt Reactions, when your health is less than 50%, your perfect dodge window is doubled. This perk is super underrated, especially if you're not taking things like the healing perks here and here. You want to take stuff like Thrill of the Fight on top of Conviction. You can trigger so many perfect dodges off of this at below 50% HP, and the extra health damage reduction you get from Thrill of the Fight here on top of Conviction makes you very tanky at low HP anyways, so it's a lot better than it might sound. And the perk up here, Retribution, kind of sucks. Next perk here is Inner Fire. All of your squad members can restore ability charge by 15% by performing finishers on Majora's level or higher enemies. This one's description is actually incorrect. All you have to do is kill a Majora's in this game to trigger this perk. It could be any kind of Majora's whatsoever, or like an Extremis and stuff like that. You don't have to actually finish them. And a 15% CDR is just top tier in Space Marine 2, especially for classes like Bulwark. So Inner Fire, it's been an amazing perk since launch, and it's so different here. Next perk here is Restless Fortitude. After a diving kick, you take 40% less range damage for 10 seconds. This perk is still very strong. 40% less range damage for 10 seconds is a very powerful option in Space Marine 2, though I will say in patch 11.0, this one will actually be buffed a bit to actually properly trigger off a Tactical Prowess Execute, because unfortunately at the moment, you will not get the 40% range damage reduction if you actually execute off a grapnel, so it kind of has like an anti-synergy here with things like Tactical Prowess. But that being said, it's still a very strong effect, and currently Shockwave and the perk here, Collateral Damage, are not super powerful in patch 10, but I still think this one is overall the best, especially with like an Inner Fire build here, because you'll be triggering this perk all the time, even without an execute. Next perk here is Zone of Impact. Performing a finisher with the grapnel launcher deals damage to nearby enemies. Zone of Impact is simply insane for AoE damage. It will wipe out entire enemy hordes all on its own. It basically turns your build into a flowchart build. It's not really a bad thing, because Zone of Impact just puts in so much damn work. Next patch, there will be way more build variety on the Vanguard, but for now, this is by far the best perk in this entire column here, and this perk, Synergy with Tactical Prowess at the end, is just top tier, so pretty much always pick this up for like a meta Vanguard build. Next perk here is Thrill of the Fight. After a perfect timed parry, block, or dodge, you take 20% less health damage for 5 seconds. This perk is super underrated, especially with Hunt Reactions, because you can actually reapply this perk before the 5 seconds are up, which means every single perfect dodge will give you another 5 seconds up to 20% health damage reduction, so a really good option here. Now, another great option in this row is, of course, Combat Readiness. Grapnel Launcher recharges 20% faster. More grapnels means more damage reduction and means more Tactical Prowess Zone of Impact triggers, so this one's also very good, but these two are really up to you. And this perk here, Grim Determination, some people like this. This is not like a terrible perk, but the weapon damage increase only triggers when your grapnel is completely gone. With things like Tactical Prowess and Inner Fire, you really don't have no grapnel very often, so it's a ton for you, and I think these two are way better. Final perk here is, of course, Tactical Prowess. Grapnel Launcher can activate a finisher not only on incapacitated enemies, but also on those who have less than 33% health, except for Terminus level, and performing a finisher with the Grapnel Launcher restores its charge. This perk is incredible. It gives you so much more value out of your grapnel, and especially with the perk over here, Zone of Impact, like we mentioned before, these cycle into each other all the time because you just grapnel one guy, you blow them up in Zone of Impact, all the guys around them go to like 33% HP, you just do it over and over and just flow chart them. So really easy to pull off when like the grapnel actually decides to properly function, because the grapnel is pretty buggy and really powerful. So I like this combo quite a bit. Now, for the Prestige perk tree, I do just take Battlefield Awareness for 10% more range damage, the perk over here, Fortitude, for a health increase of 15%, because being tankier in Space Marine 2 will simply save your life, and the final two perks I grab pretty much all the time are Launch Restoration and Restoration, and this one in particular, using the Grapnel Launcher restores one armor segment. This is an incredible perk. When you get so many grapnels back off of things like Inner Fire or even like Combat Readiness here, you will be triggering this over and over, and this perk will also trigger off a Tactical Prowess Execute. So let's say like you get a Grapnel Launcher Execute in a guy, you'll actually get 2 armor back from a single Execute here, instead of just like the Execute armor off the initial Tactical Prowess trigger here. So what that means is every single execute just equals 2 armor, so pretty strong for that. And Restoration is just kind of a no-brainer. This is on the heavy class as well. It's really good here, and it's really good there as well, so pretty much always pick these two up. I'm sorry, excuse me. Restoration is on our Power Axe as well, and the heavy. This one actually has a 20-second cooldown here, and over here it has a 15-second cooldown. These ones are on separate cooldowns as far as I'm aware. This is very easy to trigger off a Melter Rifle shot, so just keep that in mind. Really powerful option. And Armor Restore in Space Marine 2 in general is just super good, so these two perks really help a ton. This one especially is just tremendous value and makes your grapnel way better. That's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. The Zone of Impact Tactical Prowess combo is just like the signature perk combo for the Vanguard at the moment. Unfortunately, his other builds are just not remotely as strong as this one. Tip of the Spear is not a terrible perk whatsoever. Enemies hit by Diving Kick take 15% more range damage for 10 seconds. It's just not remotely as good as Zone of Impact. So, you know, if you want to use this, you definitely could. Just keep in mind this one is stronger. That's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. Hopefully this build guide helped. I know this is a pretty popular build for the Vanguard because he doesn't have a ton of build variety currently, but hopefully patch 11.0 will fix him up even more. Hey guys, first regardsman here. I'll be talking about one of the most powerful Bulwark builds in Space Marine 2 patch 10.0 with the Power Fist. Now, the Power Fist is the overall best melee weapon in this game. Its charge attack damage is kind of absurd, and even though the Block Fist here only has a 1+ speed, this does not really affect your charge up time whatsoever, so you kind of just get like full benefit of damage. So pretty incredible, though I will also mention, if you do want to use the balanced version, this one has great cleaving, and that can definitely help you hit more enemies with like a single thrust jab, so just keep that in mind. Now for the perk tree here, I would pick up Perpetual Strength first. Melee damage increases by 5%. Moving over here into the perk Heavy Preparation. Heavy attack preparation times reduced by 30. Applies to the following attacks: Thrust Jab, Back Fist, Hammer Hook, Back Fist 2, Thrust Jab 2. Now, like I said before, heavy attacks on this weapon are by far the most important, so having a shorter charge on those is pretty much mandatory. Next perk here is Perpetual Strength, and Perpetual Strength once again for a 10% melee damage increase. And then we move over here into an amazing perk with Focused Intention. When your health is below 30%, you take 50% less health damage while preparing heavy attacks. So basically, while you are charging this and you proc a perk like Conviction up here or Steel Within, your health damage reduction kind of gets absurd. It is truly ridiculous how much you can tank with this perk active. And the Thrust Jab is what you're going to be doing 99% of the time anyways, so super valuable here. Pretty much always grab this. Then I move over here into the perk Tide of Battle. This one is actually an incorrect description. It does not move your power wave distance from 4 to 8 meters. It's 10 to 20 meters, so you can actually punch from a very far distance with this perk active. Next perk I grab after this is Following Blow, and then I grab the perk over here, Combo, and move into the perk Majora's Slayer for more Majora's damage, and finally pick up the perk down here, Strength of Will. While performing a heavy attack, you take 20% less range damage. Now, for the secondary here, I do just take the Rate of Fire Plasma Pistol once again. This is probably the overall best secondary in the game right now. In patch 9.0, they did buff up the charge rate of this Plasma Pistol quite a bit. It is very fast at CHP recovery, stagger, and has great damage. The only thing kind of holding this back is ammo economy. That doesn't matter too much in the actual operations mode, especially if you're playing with teams. But either way, I would build it here with like the ammo economy perks because these are pretty mandatory in my opinion. I also grab Perpetual Velocity for a faster charge rate and perks like Divine Might down here for a 10% damage increase. And that's pretty much all there is for the secondary weapon. Now for the perk selection here, I did grab Conviction first. When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds. This perk makes you incredibly tanky, though I will say if you want to have like a better defensive offensive option, you can use Intimidating Aura. A perfectly timed parry deals area effect damage in a 5-meter radius. Cooldown is 5 seconds. As of patch 8.0, this does work with Perfect Block as well. It's a very powerful perk effect. Like, you really can't go wrong with either of these. This one lets you survive things you would otherwise not, and this one just gives you more damage. Next perk here is Scramble Targeting. If you're surrounded by 5 or more enemies, you take 25% less damage from range attacks. This is an incredible perk because 25% less damage from range attacks for being surrounded in Space Marine 2 happens all the time, so great stuff here. Next perk I take is Steel Within. When your health is less than 50%, you take 30% less health damage. These two perks put together make you insanely tanky. You can kind of get knocked around all the time and just live. Pretty absurd. And the next perk we take for the team perk selection is Focus Restoration. Every 30 seconds, all squad members automatically restore 1 armor segment. This is simply an armor enabler for your whole team, and armor in this game is incredibly valuable because any amount of armor remaining in Space Marine 2 will allow you to absorb all damage from any melee hit, including bosses. So that's a pretty useful thing to have for your whole team on like a 30-second loop. Next perk here is Purity of Purpose. The banner deals damage over time to enemies within its area of effect. This perk basically turns your banner into a shock grenade, wiping out Minoris, dealing significant damage to Majoris, Extremis, and even Terminus. And being able to wipe out Minoris with your banner is very good for avoiding chip damage because we don't have things like Glory Shield in this build. It does help us get our fist damage off a lot more easily, and honestly this perk is pretty top tier. Next perk here is Invigorating Icon. When the banner is activated, all squad members regain maximum contested health, but it recharges 50% slower. This is just an amazing perk. Getting an entire HP heal for your whole team is as good as it sounds, so you pretty much always grab this if you're going for like something super meta and like a really coordinated team. Though I will say the perk up here, Concussive Force, is also amazing this patch, and as always, Glory Shield is a good option too. Next perk here is Merciless Resolve. After a Shield Bash, Shield Rush, or Thunder Hammer Pommel Smash, melee damage increases by 15%, and you do not lose control upon taking heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. Now, in patch 10.0, they did add in the new Shield Rush mechanic, so this is super easy to pull off and maintain all the time. And also, you can just Shield Bash the air to trigger this whenever you want. Great perk, and honestly, you don't even need perks like Armored Advance anymore this patch because Shield Rush is so just like fundamental to the playstyle of this class anyways, and this perk is amazing. Now, for the signature perk tree, I do grab Defensive Mastery. A perfectly timed parry or block instantly incapacitates a Majoris or Extremis level enemy. Cooldown is 90 seconds. When this perk pops off at the right time, you'll instantaneously kill like a Ravener, a Lictor, or a Terminator. That is very useful, though sometimes it is wasted on a Majoris, especially if you already have Intimidating Aura, where you'll just one-shot them, which is kind of unfortunate. But if you don't want to take this, you could take Emergency Countermeasures instead. This one is also a very strong perk. Or the perk down here, Armored Advance, for redundancy on no knockback, because no knockback is life-saving. Now, for the Prestige perk tree, I would just take Resilience here first. Medicae Sims restore 40% more health. I don't really care to take Auxiliary Reload in Operations as much as Siege Mode, because if you're playing with a team, you really don't need the ammo restore that much in this game because there are so many ammo boxes in Operations compared to Siege Mode, but in Siege Mode, I would take this all the time. And this perk is also just very valuable to keep you alive. Next perk here is Overcharge. Charge attack damage increases by 20%. I mean, charge attack damage counts for our Power Fist here, and our Power Fist charge attacks are the strongest attack on them anyway, so kind of a no-brainer. Next perk here is Powerful Shot. Range damage increases by 20%. Pretty boring perk effect, but range damage increases are pretty strong in this game. And the final perk I pick up is Masterful Defense. Ability charge restored by 1% for every blocked range attack. This one is an amazing CDR enabler, especially versus Chaos, where you'll be shot by Soul Reaper Cannon Terminators. It's not as good as it used to be, only because the Chaos spawn will occasionally hound you and stop your block. But besides that, you know, when you actually get it off, it is a very powerful perk, and by far, like, the best pick in this whole tree. That's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. Honestly, it's like a top 3 build in this game, and like a top 2 build for Bulwark for sure. The only one I'd say is, like, possibly stronger than this is, like, the Power Axe Shield Bash build, but, like, Concussive Force is kind of insane right now. But besides that, Power Fist is, like, the go-to. This is, like, a very easy carry build for any hard stratagem. And hopefully this build guide helped you. And if you like, hey guys, first regards from here, I'll be talking about one of the most powerful sniper builds in Space Marine 2 patch 10.0 with the Last Fusel. Now, the last Fusel is, in my opinion, the overall strongest sniper weapon currently. This thing has insane DPS output, amazing horde clear, amazing boss damage. It does kind of lack AoE versus Extremis and Majoris at times, but it can also one-shot them, so it kind of makes up for it. And the version I've chosen today is the Rate of Fire variant. Now, the Rate of Fire variant has a stupidly fast charge rate. It is a little ammo hungry compared to the magazine capacity version, but it kind of makes up for that with this DPS output, on top of the fact that we can manage our ammo with some perks I'll get into later. Now, for the perk tree selection on this, I do take Perpetual Velocity first to increase our shot charge speed even further, and then I pick up the perk Adamant Velocity. When your health is below 30%, shots charge 25% faster. This perk is actually active. Your shot charge rate goes through the roof. You can dump out a truly staggering amount of damage at once. A very powerful option, and the sniper class is actually quite good at sitting at low HP thanks to perks like Purification and stuff like Conviction. It's a very strong perk for sure. The next perk we take is Headhunter for more headshot damage, because once again, this is a sniper, so headshot damage is pretty epic. Next perk after this is Perpetual Velocity for even more shot charge speed. Then I grab the perk over here, Charging Immunity. While charging a shot, you do not lose control from heavy hits. This perk is actually pretty good because let's say you're like hip firing a sword warrior or something like that, and this can let you do that without actually getting knocked back. So great perk for sure. Next perk here is Headhunter once again for even more headshot damage. Next perk here is Instant Health. When your health is below 30%, killing 3 enemies or more with one shot restores health by 5%. This perk is incredible, and Sniper is a class, like I mentioned before, that can stay at low HP quite easily, so you can kind of like sit around 10% HP and wait for a horde to like heal up completely. Very useful for that, and I'll actually show that in the gameplay footage I have. Very strong perk for sure, on par with things like Rapid Health, and great on this build. Next perk here is Headhunter. Headshots deal 10% more damage once again. And then the final 2 perks you grab are Increased Capacity and Increased Capacity, because if you do take both of these, you will get 2 shots instead of 1 back off of the perk here, Versatile Precision. Performing a kill with your secondary weapon restores 15% of your primary weapon's ammo. Cooldown is 15 seconds. And that's pretty much all there is for the sniper perk tree here, though I do want to mention, if you want to take the ammo capacity version, you definitely can. This one is way more efficient. This one just has a far faster charge rate, and it's better for DPS and like pulling off some quick shots, so it's really up to you on that. Now for the secondary weapon here, I do take the new Honorific Relic Tier Bolt Pistol. This is the new heroic bolt pistol variant that has a 3-round burst mechanic. Very good synergy on the sniper, especially because of the perk over here, Pattern of Excellence. Performing 3 consecutive headshots restores equipment charged by 1. Cooldown is 30 seconds. This will trigger off of 1 burst of the bolt pistol, so super good here. Great synergy, honestly a ton of fun to use, and this is a very strong sidearm, far better than like the normal bolt pistol variants on the relic tier, and the CHP recovery, headshot damage, and ammo economy are all pretty strong on this thing. It also has great perks over here like Elite Hunter. After killing a Majoris level or higher enemy with a melee weapon, headshots deal 50% more damage for 10 seconds. This ups your DPS dramatically. And I will mention that you do have to have your bolt pistol equipped while you trigger this to actually get the effect, and you also have to keep it equipped to actually keep the effect up, and this will also trigger off and execute, so great stuff there. And also the perk over here, Gunstrike Reload, just has a lot of synergy even with block weapons, which we'll get into later. Though I will also say, if you want to take the heavy bolt pistol, you certainly can. This is also a good option, and I would not take the Inferno pistol on this build, mainly because we don't really have an easy way to get consecutive execution otherwise, because last Fusel doesn't usually put like 3 headshots at once. I mean, it can, but you don't have a lot of ammo on this thing, so I would probably just take either this one or this one here. And that's pretty much all there is for the secondary weapon. Now for the melee weapon selection here, I do take a Relic Tier Block Knife. I do think this is the overall best knife in the game still, and better than the heroic version, especially on the sniper, because getting perfect dodges off of Agile Strike, it just doesn't help you as much on this class as say Vanguard, the Home Reactions perk that can give him even better perfect dodge window. This is actually a pretty fun combo if you want to use this, but on the sniper, I think you just benefit far more from a block knife. And the damage here also just scales better with things like your perks of adaptability and melee mastery that we'll get into later, and overall the armor regen is also super strong on this thing. Now for the perk tree, I do pick up Perpetual Strength first. Melee damage increases by 5%, and then I move over here into the perk Kinetic Energy. Each consecutive heavy attack increases heavy attack melee damage by 3% up to 30% for 3 seconds. The Skull Crushers on this thing, which are your basic heavy attack, are very good for horde clear and Majoris damage. This helps with that a ton. Next perk here is Perpetual Strength. Moving into the perk over here, Heavy Onslaught. Heavy attacks of this weapon deal 15% more melee damage. This is even more damage for our Skull Crushers. And then I grab the perk here, Reeling Blow, and pick up a very important perk with Shadow Stab. Replace Heavy Swing with Shadow Stab. Hold the attack button to charge it. Damage increases by 200% per 1 second of charging. This has amazing synergy on the sniper class because sniper can just go invisible and sit in one spot and not get targeted and get like the full charge in this thing. Really strong for that. Some of the best boss damage in the game, especially if you stack it with things like tactical ambush, even though we're not doing that in this build in particular. Very strong combo for sure. Now, the next perks I take are Tide of Battle, and I take the perk over here, Shoulder Bash. Replace Distance Stab with Shoulder Bash. While evading/sprinting, tap the attack button to quickly perform an area of effect forward attack. This basically replaces your lunging attack, and Shoulder Bash has a far better recovery time in my experience. It's just better for getting it on guys and locks you down less than like the distance stab does. They're pretty much mandatory in my opinion, at least for how I like to play. Like, if you like distance stab, you can definitely use that too. And the final perk I grab is Extremis Slayer. Melee damage against Extremis level enemies increases by 15%, and that's pretty much all there is for the weapon perk tree here. I also want to mention, if you want to take like a balanced knife here, or the heroic tier, or a fencing version, you can definitely do that. Like, none of these are particularly bad. I just think this one's the overall best, and that's really up to you as well. And for the sniper perk tree, I do grab melee mastery first. Melee damage increases by 20% against Majora's level and higher enemies. This is kind of a catch-all for the enemies you really want to kill pretty quickly, like Lictors, Raveners, and even the Terminators are really good for that. And also the perk up here, Block Break. It's not terrible by any means, but doesn't affect enough enemies, in my opinion, to be worth taking, so I do prefer this one, and this perk isn't very good at all. Next perk here is Adaptability. Reloading while having low ammo or mainly activating Camo Cloak increases melee damage by 25% for 10 seconds. A 25% damage buff here is very chunky, and a 10-second uptime is very long. Very strong perk here, and things like Vantage Point aren't very good in my opinion because remaining stationary doesn't happen that often, and high capacity is a little redundant on this build, so I do prefer this one. Next perk here is Lethal Efficiency. Killing more than one enemy with one shot from your last few soul resources charged by 1. This one just lets you fire endlessly into like little Minotaurus hordes and trigger instant health. Really good for that. Really good horde clear, and sometimes it will come into play against Majora's, but not that often. And also, it is the only perk in this tree that does anything for this build, so it's kind of a no-brainer. Next perk we take here is Squad Renewal. A headshot kill restores ability charged by 10% for any squad member. I do think this is the best team perk here, but marksmanship is by no means bad and can help you hit breakpoints, and you can also pick up the perk down here, Renewal, for like a Camo Cloak enabler instead if you want. Next perk I take after this is Purification. Manually activating Camo Cloak removes negative status effects and restores all contested health. This perk is incredible. It saves your life all the time. One of the best perks in the entire game, and Camo Cloak comes up all the time. So this is basically like free stims occasionally. Really, really strong. It keeps you alive in situations you would just explode otherwise, and makes it very easy to manage your health. Top tier perk for sure. Next perk here is Targeted Shot. The first ranged attack that breaks Camo Cloak deals 75% more damage. This perk is amazing with the last Fusel, so I love taking it. You can like one-shot all of Majora's in the game. Very strong option. And the final perk in the gear tree here is Lingering Concealment. After performing an attack that breaks Camo Cloak, you remain hidden for 2 seconds. Now, this used to operate with the Camo Cloak cancel mechanic, or exploit, depending on who you ask, that did get nerfed this patch. Still very strong, still a very good option. It's just not as strong as before, but still an incredible perk. And for the signature perk here, I do take Pattern of Excellence, performing 3 consecutive headshots, restores equipment charged by 1. Cooldown is 30 seconds. This simply allows you to spam Melt-A-Bombs, crack grenades, shock grenades, and frags. Really strong option, and by far the best signature perk here. I do hope these other two get a buff, because this one just lets you put out Melt-A-Bombs all the time, or crack grenades, and that is incredible on a 30-second cooldown, so I would definitely pick this one up. Now, for the prestige perks, I do take Emperor's Grace first. When Camo Cloak activates, you become invulnerable to damage for 2 seconds. This is an incredibly powerful perk as well, and has amazing synergy with Purification, because basically you hit Camo Cloak, you get your CHP back, and you also become invulnerable for 2 seconds to guarantee no further damage. And also, the invulnerability from this gives you like the ultimate no knockback in the game. No attack can actually knock you over whatsoever, not even boss attacks for these 2 seconds. So a very strong option and incredible perk. Next perk here is Versatile Precision. Performing a kill with your secondary weapon restores 15% of your primary weapon's ammo. Cooldown is 15 seconds. This perk is an ammo economy enabler, super strong with the snipers in this game. Previously, when this perk wasn't around, like before the Prestige update, a lot of the snipers really struggled with ammo efficiency, and this perk fixed them entirely. Pretty much always pick this up. Next perk I take is Conviction. When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 15 seconds. This one just saves your life all the time. 25% health damage reduction for 15 seconds is a super powerful damage resist effect, and 15 seconds is a very long uptime. And the final perk I grab is Exacting Focus. After a gun strike, you deal 20% more range damage for 10 seconds. Even though we have a block knife, getting gun strikes in this game is pretty easy. You can still set up Minoris, you can still set up Majoris, and even Extremis, and even Terminus. And also 20% more range damage is very strong, and a 10-second uptime is a very long uptime. So great perk for sure. If you want to take something like Indomitable Spirit or Versatility, you definitely can, or even Material Upgrade, because honestly, Sniper has some pretty great options for its prestige perks all around. And that's pretty much all there is for this build guide, guys. The Last Fusel is a fan favorite weapon in this game because it is very strong, it is quite fun to use, and it just dumps out tremendous damage. Whenever I play with a sniper and knows how to use this thing, the game is a breeze, and it's just a very powerful gun for sure. Hey guys, first regardsman here, and so I'll be talking about a heroic heavy plasma build for the heavy class in patch 10.0 Space Marine 2. The new heroic tier variant of this weapon is a fully automatic variant of the heavy plasma, so that is pretty cool. However, the caveat here is you cannot use charge shots whatsoever. But to be honest, the light shots of the heavy plasma incinerator are very strong. They have very high DPS output, pretty decent AoE, obviously not like the level of a charge shot, but still pretty good, and incredible CHP recovery, and wipe Minoras and do significant damage to bosses and Majoris and Extremis pretty well. So this weapon is actually pretty good. Now, the added benefit of this gun is you actually have the base magazine capacity of 55 here, which is equivalent to the ammo reserve option for the relic tier. This one's actually fairly ammo efficient, or at least ammo efficient for a heavy plasma gun, because the heavy plasma overall is a pretty ammo hungry gun regardless, but this does help a bit. Now, for the perk tree, you have a couple options here. You can build full ammo down here like I did. This is a pretty good option because this will take you to like 70 plus shots on your magazine, which is pretty strong. However, if you are not taking the perk here, heavy immunity, while in heavy stance you do not lose control from heavy hits, you definitely want to pick up strategic stand instead, because this one will also give you that perk effect and some bonus CHP recovery in heavy stance, which is actually really good with this gun. But to be honest, guys, not having no knockback in heavy stance is just horrific in this game. You'll get whacked around all the time, so definitely pick one of these up if you can, because it really does just save your life unless you keep doing your DPS, which is kind of what you want to do with the heavy plasma anyways. Now for the secondary weapon here, I did take the new heroic bolt pistol. This is a 3-round burst variant of the standard bolt pistol. Super fun to use, very strong damage, very strong CHP recovery, and highly accurate. Now, every single bolt pistol in patch 10.0 did get a buffed headshot multiplier, and this one definitely benefited from that. Though I do want to say, if you don't have this weapon, you can just build the heavy bolt pistol like this instead. Heavy class does benefit from things like able damage quite a bit because he has an iron halo that you can use all the time, or alternatively, you could use the rate of fire plasma pistol because this thing is still top tier for sure. Amazing CHP recovery, amazing stagger, and amazing damage. Kind of a limited ammo capacity, but that's really like the only thing holding it back, and that's why I build ammo economy on this one instead. But really, which one you want to use is up to you. They're all pretty good. The worst one is definitely the Inferno pistol, but you know, it's still usable as well. Now for the perk tree, I do pick up Restoration first. Killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores 1 armor segment. Cooldown is 15 seconds. Armor restores in Space Marine 2 are very valuable, and these other 2 perks do basically nothing for you on this build anyway, so definitely a top tier pick. Next perk I take is Strategic Stand. While in heavy stance, dealing damage restores 15% more contested health, and you do not lose control upon taking heavy hits, and you can't be knocked back, but you will not be able to move. Now, not being able to move doesn't really matter at all in this build, and really any heavy build for that matter. Moving in the heavy stance is super slow anyways, and this is a pretty good buff to CHP recovery, and the no knockback is an amazingly powerful effect. Though I will say, if you're taking something like heavy immunity up here and building your gun this way instead, you can skip over this and just take fortitude instead, which I think is like an overall stronger perk, to be honest. Next perk here is Overwhelming Power. While Iron Halo is active, all squad members within 10 meters deal 10% more range damage. This is just a free range damage buff for you and your teammates. A super strong option. Now, another strong option here is Versatility for a 20% increase to your secondary damage. Plasma Pistol, the Heroic Tier Bolt Pistol, and even the Heavy Bolt Pistol all benefit a lot after this. That's really up to you which one you want to take. Now, for the team perk, I take Encompassing Aegis. All squad members take 25% less damage from ranged attacks. This perk is god tier. 25% less damage from ranged attacks is super chunky. It's just like a free range damage reduction for your whole team. It saves your life, it saves your teammates' lives, even gives a damage reduction to classes like Tactical that usually have pretty much none. It's a really strong option for sure, and perks like Additional Supplies and Bonds of Brotherhood are not good at all. Next perk here is Consecutive Execution. Killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores 1 equipment charge. Cooldown is 90 seconds. This perk breaks the economy of pickups in the game. It gives you back 90-second melt-bombs, crack grenades, shock grenades, and even frag grenades. These are all very powerful options to clear out hordes and save your game. Super top tier perk for sure. Pretty much always a go-to if you're playing by yourself, especially you don't have like a secure stockpile on your team, and a top tier pick wherever you can find it. Next perk here is Field Adjustment. Iron Halo recharges 20% faster, but its durability is reduced by 25%. Losing durability on your Iron Halo does suck a little bit, but oftentimes with Iron Halo, you're just popping it up to like block 2 shots, and would even break anyways, and getting it back faster is just way more valuable, which is why I like this perk a lot. Next perk here is Brute Force. When Iron Halo is in cooldown, range damage increases by 15%. This is just a chunky free range damage buff for something you do all the time, which is using your Iron Halo, and this perk is also just by far the best in this row because perks like Wrath of the Imperium and especially Saving Grace are dog shit, so pretty much always grab this one. And for the signature perk tree, I do take Offensive Capability because I was playing True Solo in this. When active, Iron Halo deals damage over time to all enemies within 5 meters. This one is really good for clearing Bramble, clearing Cultists, clearing out Spore Mines and such. Very good perk for sure, though I will say if you're playing with teammates, especially like a Bulwark with a super long cooldown and like an Invigorating Icon banner, Conversion Field can be better to get people ability charge back, but they're both really good options, so that's really up to you. And for the prestige perks here, I do take Reverberating Impact first. A Stomp area of effect radius increases by 50%. This just gives your Stomp more utility, lets you wipe out more Bramble, more Spore Mines, more Minoris enemies, and to be honest, the Stomp in this game is already one of the best Minoris killers, period, regardless of this perk, but this one just makes it a little bit better. Next perk here is Auxiliary Reload. Melee kills of Extremis level or higher enemies restore your primary weapon's ammo by 1 magazine. I think this one is pretty much mandatory on the heavy class, especially for the heavy plasma, because this really does save your ammo economy at times, especially by yourself versus Extremis in the operations where you can be a little bit ammo hungry, and in siege mode this one just completely breaks his ammo economy, so super strong option for sure. Next perk here is Conviction. When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds. This is a very powerful health damage reduction, top tier perk wherever you can find it. And this one will like flat out save your life in a lot of cases, so pretty much always pick this up as well. And the final perk I grab is Indomitable Spirit. While performing a gun strike, you do not lose control upon taking heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back. Having no knockback on gun strikes in this game will simply save your life. There are times a sword warrior will be attacking you, and you simply have to use your gun strike to get CHP back, and if you don't have this perk, you'll just die and get staggered. This one will save your life, so pretty much always grab this as well. And to be honest, these are like the only 4 top tier perks for this class anyways in the prestige perk list, and Exponential Force, Home Precision, and Duelist are not that amazing. That's pretty much all there is for this build guide. The heroic tier heavy plasma gun is a pretty damn good heroic tier pick. This one, Xenophase Blade, and the heroic bolt pistol are the best ones in my opinion, and hopefully this build guide helped. And if you like content like this, subscribe for more, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.
That was very good, guys.
Specialized bioform neutralized. Obtaining armaments.
Yo, the vet. What's that, dude? Worried at it.
Iron Halo online. Execute Iron Halo tactics. High priority tiering. Eliminate.
That Purple Shinobi never got $500+ donations in a single stream. Actually, Purple Shinobi streams were pretty crazy. Not gonna lie, but.
Next encounter. Iron Halo protocol in progress.
That's true, I never streamed for 18 hours on that channel.
On site. Sourcing demolition war gear. The Munitorum does not store explosives to Codex Astartes standards. Locate enough to demolish the bridge. artifact in dire circumstances. Authentic bombardment. Detect explosive payload insufficient. Source additional war gear. Iron Halo online.
Dude, this gun is really good.
Kill confirmed.
It's actually the easier to use plasma, which is funny. I think that's a target for shots, you just shoot the guy.
Explosive payload insufficient. Source additional war gear.
Yeah, no, it's the same ammo. It's the ammo efficiency of the ammo variant. Very strong.
Conversion operational. Xenos countermeasures successful. Cover my reload. Iron Halo ready.
Captain Kitty, thanks for the prime sub. Love some Warhammer, don't we all? Warhammer's the new big thing.
Engaging elite countermeasures. Reloading. Tyranid unit sighted. Elite level Xenos pacified. Charge primed. Iron Halo online. Symptoms indicate the presence of toxins.
Is this the new plasma gun, the new bolt rifle, bolt pistol?
Ammunition restocked. Equipping fresh magazine. Explosive payload insufficient. Source additional war gear.
How'd you get 900 stratagem currency so fast? Just a mod. Unlock them all. Like, I'm gonna play offline. So, while I was waiting for the dailies to reset, I decided to try them out.
Mind.
I wanted to make a video on like which one's the best for people to buy first, but you know, can't really give people an opinion on what's best if you don't actually play with them at all. So we tested them out a bit, and the results spoke for themselves. Plasma, bolt pistol, and honestly, the only one that's shocking to me that's good is the bolt pistol here. The only one that's like straight up bad is the chainsword. That one needs like a proper fucking rework. I don't know what they're cooking with that.
Demolition ready. Specialized biofuel neutralized.
This is the content from Russia with love. All the way from Russia. They're the kind words.
Explosive payload insufficient. Source additional war gear. Enhanced tactical ready.
Look at this thing. Bang, bang. So accurate. I actually prefer this thing to the heavy bolt pistol now. How's the ammo economy on the bolt pistol? Pretty similar to the heavy bolt pistol.
Kill confirmed.
DPS output is way better, and CHP recovery is way better though than the standard bolt rifle. Bolt pistol, I mean.
Charge primed.
Also very good for melee classes.
The Hive Tyrant will reach your position shortly. Join the Imperial Guard defenses up on the bridge and lure that Xenos Colossus into the kill zone.
They ended up burning the water trying to cook the chainsword one.
Intercepting projectiles. Zones for combat. Ready anti-tank tactics. Eliminate target before it summons reinforcements. Cover my
Where
rear.
is the other one here?
Attack grenade in play. Zones removed from combat. Iron Halo online. High priority kill eliminated. Reloading.
Goes to show firstborn weapons are superior and helmets.
Reloading ammunition. Reduce area firewall presence to 0. Elite
The
level
gun strike is 3 bursts, though. I haven't noticed it do any extra damage.
Iron Halo ready. New path ahead. Enhanced tactic ready.
Are new fire weapons good? Oh yeah, they're good. They are good. Best comp for the hard leafy stratagem: a bulwark with a power fist. That's the only comp you need. Vigor icon bulwark with a block fist. Must be nice on sniper. We got 3 headshots per tap. Should work just like the instigatable carbine does. I think this is the best secondary on a lot of classes now. This is the best on Vanguard and sniper currently. They don't have access to plasma. The only one I think is actually better than this plasma, maybe. Then it's pretty close.
We may have to bring down the supply bridge.
Charges are armed and in place.
Is this a withdrawal order?
Negative. The objective is the Hive Tyrant, not the bridge. Defend this position until the
Also, the gunstrikes are very satisfying.
Understood, my lord. May the Emperor guide our lasguns to your support. Ready up! Show the Emperor's angels what we are made of! Eyes up! They're trying to surround us on the roofs!
Tyranids circling around the side.
They're stacking up! Get up!
The Hive Tyrant is on its way, but it is a horde of Xenos between you and it. You have its attention. It is moving to intercept. Apply more pressure. Iron Halo online. Xenos countermeasure successful. Keep your eyes peeled.
Ready fire seems pretty nice for plasma. I think it's better than charge shots.
Shortly.
I think this is the best plasma right now, to be honest.
Iron Halo ready.
Because I think charge shots in this game are super overrated anyways. And I've always been a rapid fire spammer. Because light shots on this gun do a ton of damage. They're super ammo efficient.
Visual range.
I've never seen such an atrocity.
Hold. Give the Hive Beast a moment. Detonate the charges now.
Any tips for the great responsibility stratagem? Find people that you think are worthy of that great responsibility. The best I can say is, like, I wouldn't play that with players that don't know what they're doing. Because you just die.
Refilling magazines.
Yeah, Pyro Blaster was bad in in the campaign, but in PvE, whoa, it's insane. It's true. It really is.
Xenos leader beast neutralized. It is not dead. Clarification requested. The swarm would go feral without their connection to the hive mind, but their focus is still on the relay. Reports confirm the lieutenant's assessment. Enemy cohesion is still in full effect. That beast is not yet dead.
Heavy Pyro, is it good? Yeah, I have a video on it. It's very
We can
good.
hold this position,
It's
Lords.
great dot.
We'll keep the swarm off your backs while you hunt. I see it trying to dig itself out.
Mm. All right, let's go.
Observe ground. Engaging elite countermeasures. Revenant height tyranny obliterated. Switching fresh magazine. Neurotroop contact. Deploy distraction tactics.
This is really good for bossing too.
Enhanced tactics ready. Elite level Xenos. Pacify. Iron Halo online. Reloading ammunition. Enhanced tactic ready. Kill confirmed. Major tyranid threat. Iron Halo protocol in progress. Rearming. Utilizing crack explosives. High priority tyranid eliminated. Iron Halo ready. Reloading.
This will should be the rest of this year.
Xenos countermeasures successful. Reloading ammunition. Throwing frag grenade.
Now we have the adamant restoration proc, and there's so much aim, we go 20 shots back.
Ready.
That's pretty good.
Level Xenos. Pacify.
The fuck are you playing on? It's Absolute. What else are we playing on?
Execute Iron Halo tactics. Out of vision.
So people say it's just shots at the same speed as a pirate variant, relying their asses off. But I didn't even touch the gun. Just a full auto plasma rifle.
Eliminated.
Pretty good.
Press our advantage. Pursue and eliminate. We will not have a better opportunity to finish it off. Iron Halo online. Destroyed 4 mines. Obtaining arms.
There's so much ammo, dude. We're gonna mop this boss.
Engaging elite countermeasures. We are. No lines of fire. Continue pursuit. We are committed to this course. Iron Halo ready. Talassa report. Pursuing quarry. Talassa, you cut out. Vox signal negligible. Jamming, most likely. Maintain squad cohesion. Continue pursuit.
I don't know what's the ammo box in that room. Usually doesn't spawn.
Specialized bioform neutralized. It has an escape route. Location
Let's bring on
exit.
boss reduce the XP given? No.
Enhanced tactic ready. Reloading ammunition. Iron Halo protocol in progress. Firewall active. Counter-tactics engaged.
Oh, I fucked that biovore up.
Firewall life signs silenced.
I got mopped.
Ammunition restocked. Iron Halo online. Tertius. Fire at will.
Red damage. That's with the buff too.
Payload ready. Heavy bioactivity from the target. Detecting circuit threat. Intercepting projectiles. Refilling magazines. Enhanced tactics ready. Execute iron payload tactics.
They can't stop us. We have too much CHP recovery. For that. Strategic stand moment. What a joke. You just walk there. You just walk on him the whole time. Yeah, strategic stance. Let me take it. Heroic bolt pistol's the highest gun strike damage now. Does it actually though? It might. Why that refill just gives 75 shots? Because we have 75 shots on our gun. Now try that with the new boss. Maybe we should. That was 51,000 range damage. Pretty good.